Okay, so hello everybody, how you all doing? I know it's been a while since I made a video and I wanted to talk about something real interesting. So some of you might remember the terminal that I was talking about in the last video being actually like you know like massively faster, like 40% faster. And I was like, you know what? Maybe there's some under the hood optimizations I could make. And before I go ahead and rewrite the entire terminal in C, but I don't think I even have to do that at this point. I may still do it though, because I really want to make it as efficient as possible. But this video is a real short one because it's really just going to compare the speed of my own standard out line printer, because let's face it, terminals are just line printers, and the faster we can print out something, the better it will be for us in the end. So what I did is I took really just a few minutes of research and writing code and wrote my own line printer. Real simple code. You can check it out on GitHub. Real simple utility written in C, of course. And with it being so simple, you might think, oh, that there must be a pretty big disadvantage in terms of like the speed. Maybe it's like something that isn't fully feature complete, just like Cat. Well, the thing is, it'll never be as feature complete as Cat, but I'll be using Cat for like inputting stuff instead of outputting. Maybe sometimes I will, but if I need to output a real fact, let's run this. This one will be running with cat. So the one on the left will be running the cat. We'll be using time, which is the Unix time command for measuring how long a certain command took, and cat for printing out that file, sample.txt. As you can see, it's a 1 gig file that's over here. Same thing here, we're in the home directory right now. So here it is, sample.txt, 1 gig file. And we'll be printing out the output. So I'll run cat in the background. And while that's going, we can talk a little bit about the terminal. So the terminal itself, or the utility that I wrote for it, for the terminal called Lineprint, is a separate utility that I made, and it specializes in just one thing, so it's really simplistic. I wrote this utility literally today, in a few minutes, and its beauty is that it doesn't really take like much time at all to print out that file. What it specializes in is in printing out the lines of a certain text file, which is pretty much all you need. So making a utility that specializes just in that, called Lineprint, I'll also make line write so we can have faster writing into a file, therefore fully replacing cat in that sense. At least in my use case, it will be replacing, so I'll be making two utilities. I'll be making another one, but the other one will be for writing text into it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't even make it, who knows. But bear in mind that I'm recording right now, so it won't be as fast as cat would normally be. I managed to push the times down by a few seconds, which isn't anything that special. So it will be slightly slower in terms of printing out. And bear in mind that my machine is actually pretty slow in terms of this stuff. So me talking about something being pretty slow on here during recording should be taken with a massive grain of salt. But then again, in the last video I showed you that it is indeed faster than any other utility that I used. So this is like the best case scenario for cat right now, using my own custom shell and my own terminal. And if you're wondering how I generated this file, I made a simple repo. I'll put it down in the description, so you can generate pretty much the same files as I did. It will generate a 1 gig file with random characters and symbols in it, and it will just print them out. Now, as you can see, there are some symbols it doesn't understand. That's because I didn't put it in properly. But all I care about is just seeing English text, and not about. I don't care about Unicode as much. So you could, or you may expect some update video in the future about me adding some support for this. But it's been running for a while now. It should be finished by now. It's just a 1 gig file. It isn't a really big representation. And there it goes, 2 minutes 48 seconds. So we're in pretty much the same ballpark as last time, but one disadvantage this has is that it takes really long to print it out. So 2 minutes for my utility here is still better than like, what was it, 4 to 6 minutes? For 4.2 minutes it was last time with cat on the XFCE terminal. You can check that video out, the previous one where I compare my terminal with XFCE's terminal. So this is cat in its best case scenario. Now let's try my utility Lineprint and how long that takes to print it out. Ready? And go. It's not even it's not even fair at this point. We should be done by now. And it's it's done. 12 seconds on a slow machine recording this. So yeah, 12 seconds to print out a 1 gig file. That's pretty insane for my online printer. Now, it's a really simplistic utility, and I may leave it as such, but I've also made Lineprint so we have the functionality of cat still, just in case we need it. But then again, it may or may not even be needed, since I'll be using cat for input anyway. So I have this only for printing out stuff, and I want to show you can even that you can make faster utilities than the ones that are available, and it's like much faster. Like I wrote like 10 to 20 times. Yeah, it kind of checks out, almost 20 times faster, at around the same CPU usage. Well, not exactly the same, but still, it is much faster. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, one important key difference, system time, didn't mention this before. Since this is a Unix utility, a Linux utility, and it's pretty bloated, it takes a bit of time. It's not much time though, so you shouldn't be discouraged by this. But this one just goes right away, pretty much, like 2 seconds. Don't know where those 2 seconds are. Maybe it's because I'm recording, but it can print this file out in like about 5 seconds, which is pretty freaking good. So yeah, that is it. Hope to see you next time. Make sure to share this around and tell me what utility I should make next. If there is some demand for it, I will try and make it. And yeah, see ya.